All right, welcome back. The show is interactive. We definitely want to hear from you. We're going to have some interesting conversations this morning. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. Now, we've been joined by our colleague, Duke Mensah Opoku, this morning. Hi, Duke, how are you?
Hello, morning.
Yeah,
good morning.
how are you doing?
Morning. I'm well.
Yeah?
I'm well.
Fantastic. It's good to have you here.
We can only thank God.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yesterday, did you have any interesting experiences with the whole strike situation and everything?
Yeah. Yes. The manifestation of it was the number of people I saw walking around. I mean, on my street.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, we're all monitoring the situation. Yeah. We heard it, but to come face to face with the reality of people walking. Yeah. I mean, on that stretch from Legon towards Oponglo, because there was no public transport around. It raised a lot of questions as to how this situation could not be anticipated. That one day, if commercial drivers or transport operators decide that they are not working because of issues that they've raised over the period. Even this year, raised a couple of times. It just means that we do not plan for certain situations. Secondly, it also raises questions of a public transport system, and one that really works. Either it's BRT or QRB, or that's depending on whichever name you decide, you decide to give it. Why is it that in other African countries, Kenya, Tanzania, and the rest, they've been able to make this work? And we actually we've had such a situation before. I mean, I remember 2 years ago when the Ayalolo buses were really working. Coming to work, I could move from Agboba to the Achimota terminal and get one straight from that side to just this bus stop, just right there.
Look at that.
Wow. Yeah, very, very convenient. So convenient. You could read on your way here. You could, I mean, reflect on what you want to do for the day. But you it was because of, I don't know, whatever reasons we ascribe to it. Mismanagement. That is also ground to a whole Metro Mass system. Started very nicely. People people patronized it a lot before this. At the advent of, the reinvigoration of STC and all the other transport operators and the rest. Another one's also run aground.
I'm not sure what's going on with our management, and we have all the management prowess in the country. You have the schools and they're teaching management and courses, and we have all the different things, but somehow we seem to lack the practical capacity to actually manage, especially in this space.
Because we can't, sometimes when the ability to plan. See this situation. It didn't have to take a sit-down strike.
Exactly. And it just laid
for
bare
authorities to engage them.
We don't have any options for transportation. If that happens, that's it. But we've got our colleague, Michael Obodu, was out there. He's compiled some information for us about this, about the whole strike, how it affected people. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll come back and chat more with Duke.
Workers and students in communities such as Joman, Boko Boko, Insakina, Mahian, among others, were transported in Pragia to the Ablekuma Curve, where they would usually board buses for the rest of the journey. But upon arrival, there was no commercial vehicle to transport them. The angry commercial drivers and their conductors stopped all public vehicles to check if any passenger was on board. Passengers found in some of these vehicles were forced to alight. Though police officers were deployed to Ablekuma Curve to bring sanity, the protesters were more than the officers, which made the work of the officers very difficult.
The situation is very hard for us. So what we want right now, we want the government to reduce the fuel for us. That is our problem. We are suffering. All of us, we are suffering. So we plead the government to reduce the fuel for us. That is our problem. Any this commercial car is not work today. Any commercial car is not work today. Because when you see the commercial car, you are loading from Accra to Pokwasi, we stop you, but we not beat you. We are stopping you, but we are not beating you. The reason why we are here is that
We cannot afford it. That is why. So the government will reduce the petrol for us. When you look the whole Africa, Ghana petrol price is too high. It's too high than every country.
The chaotic situation resulted in heavy vehicular traffic on the stretch. Some stranded passengers who spoke to City News say they will need to abandon the plan of going to work.
Moving from Ablekuma to Accra Central to get some stuff for my shop, since it's almost Christmas time, and this petroleum increase has affected my business, because if there is there's deduction of the petrol, it would have enhanced my marketing business. So they have to do something about it. Ghana has to do something. It's affecting us. We are all frustrated about this.
I'm trying. If I don't get any private vehicle to drop me somewhere, Ubers too are not working, so both is not working, so it's getting very difficult. But I'll see. I'm still seeing forward to see if any of the private vehicles can pick me and drop me somewhere so I can continue.
Meanwhile, the police at Anyasotium arrested more than 5 drivers who were demonstrating as part of the strike by commercial transport operators this morning at Ablekuma Curve. MC for Gas Central, Mohammed Bashiru Bambara, who spoke to City News, says the arrest was to deter others from causing mayhem.
All right, so you've seen there a quick wrap of what was happening at Ablekuma Curve. Now, that was pretty much for many of the places that happened. This happened in Accra. Similar scenes were seen. We were speaking with Beverly in London at the...
She was at School Junction.
Yes, School Junction.
That area.
Actually, Botry School Junction area. And there were other places as well. Now, Duke, for me, the conversation about multimodal transport, where, I mean, the other day, I think it was even last week, where Samens was with us here, and he was talking about, why don't we have trams? Right? Now, trams, the way they work, right? You're not crisscrossing the city. You're literally moving from point A to point B almost in a linear fashion, right? Now, when you mentioned the Legon area, that's one of the things that occurred to me. If we had a tram from, say, Ayimensa, straight to Shiashi, and then from there, there are other forms of transportation that you can opt for. It would make perfect sense, right?
It would be great.
Yeah,
it would be. But we're haggling over routes.
Exactly.
We're haggling over routes, and people are. And one of the reasons why I think at the Ablekuma enclave, there was a lot of agitation over that place is because people are even already angry about the nature of roads in that part. Ablekuma, Farmbrook, NIC, Mahian. Towards from Aoshi towards that side.
Sakina is back there. Very
terrible roads. So if those in authority, government is talking about trams and sky trains and the rest, how do people process it? When they want the basic mode of transportation, which was the roads, what people would move has not even been fixed, and they have to go through all this. At every point in time, every day, especially the drivers, because on top of maintaining their cars, paying for roadworthy insurance, they have to also battle with skyrocketing prices of fuel. So when all of these issues come, it becomes a tipping point, and it gets the kind of situation in which we found ourselves in yesterday. So it's good. It's great to look at other means of transportation, and that is a question for our leaders to think about. That while we are looking at solving the basic problems, we should be able to aspire towards these goals and find the necessary.
They've already told you your sky train, they forget to. It's not coming. But Duke, can you just give us? Let's go through the timeline of events, okay? So we heard strike is happening. Then there were letters flying around saying the strike had been suspended. We heard Chief of Staff had spoken to drivers in Kumasi. Can you let's just sanitize the information and streamline it for our viewers? How did all of this unfold and resolve such that now the strike has been suspended?
Okay, so before in the process of putting together a budget, various stakeholders are consulted. So I think the Transport Ministry, and we've seen from conversations, if what we read from the some parts of the concerned drivers unions, anything to go by, and of course, we know that they engaged the Ministry of Transport that as part of the budget process, we want prices, taxes, the tax component on fuel price that can be scrapped to bring down the cost of fuel brought down. Because over the period, there's been increases in fuel prices, but transport fares have stayed the same constant. Because there is a body that looks at that, the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, the GPRTU, that does that. So then the budget is read, and there's nothing like that. So they feel that we had a certain agreement from stakeholders and the Transport Ministry that at least these concerns would be captured. Once these concerns have not been captured, then we have to express our misgivings about the fact that our concerns and our input into the budget were not captured, or were not captured. So this started sounding the warning, I think a week before, that if by Monday our concerns have not been addressed, we would go on strike.
So that's when we saw the red bands on their cars and all of that.
On their cars, signaling that this is what we are going to do. Yeah. And true to their words, on yesterday they decided to do that. It is also important to take note of various mechanisms that had been deployed. And another thing too is that the driver unions are also not united in a certain way.
That's what it seems like.
It seems like. Well, yeah. So there's Concerned Drivers Union, there's GPRTU, there's even one I saw yesterday, Ghana Online Drivers Union. Good.
Yes.
Oh yes.
That captures the ride-hailing apps and the rest. The question to ask is, when they go to these the negotiation table, how many of these drivers unions are represented at that negotiating table?
Okay.
How many of them?
Because the main one we heard about was GPRTU.
Is the GPRTU, but the GPRTU captures, of course, is the major player. It's a major union for drivers. But apart from that, there are all others, and we don't know if they are recognized in the scheme of things. But once they have a group of people that they are representing, maybe it's about time they also have a representation at the table to prevent these mixed messages. Because at Circle yesterday, we realized that everything was happening. Everything was going on normally. At certain points, just as we saw at the Ablekuma Curve, everything was when haywire. Even when things were happening, unfolding, going on in Accra, in other parts of the country, in Kumasi, for instance, we're told the chief of staff had engaged some of them, up to the point that yesterday went into a meeting for over 6 hours. It raises questions about.
I see.
Yes, six hours from up until then. We had some announcements being made that GOIL is now going to be asked to reduce the price by 15 pesos. By 15 pesos. So that's how the trajectory of things right up from when the engagement started before the budget up until now. So 15 pesos, well, let's see what
GOIL was already selling a little cheaper than the rest.
Yes, because
so we're looking at
the fact that they are this state
so now they're coming down to what, 665?
Yes.
If the
math works, because it's because of the deregulated system that is operated in the fuel sector. Until government decides to scrap the taxes that affects the fuel cost build-up. The companies can only decide to reduce their margins, which will then reflect at the pumps.
Okay. Yeah. So this is interesting. I do know that there are other oil marketing companies that have their own filling stations, and they've been selling actually cheaper than the regular price that we see. Okay. I mean, I bought fuel from one of those, which is not in our neighborhood here, for about 6 cedis, 66 pesos or so, about 2 weeks ago. So my curiosity is, if it's possible for that to happen, then why is government not pushing it a little further and saying maybe drop it by maybe 20 pesos? Why 15?
Well, I think it's also because the companies have. It's because all this is it's a decision born out of an knee-jerk reaction, for want of a better word. If I don't want, it's because you've had to take this decision because of the action that has been taken. So you look at the calculations the calculations you've put together and decide that this is what, if I put aside for the meantime, is not really going to affect the calculations of the company, because whether we like it or not, even though it's a state entity, it's also running at to make a certain profit. Yes. So that's why is it that when the engagement was done and you couldn't do it or couldn't even factor this into the budget, engage them and indicate that, or give them a plan that, over the next period, over the next medium, 3 to 4 years, this is what we want to do. So incrementally this will come down while you find ways of plugging that revenue hole that will be created by scrapping off those taxes. That is, for me, that's is a situation that, or it's a solution that would have been workable to all the parties, rather than to have, I mean, this, the kind of grinding to a halt of the whole capital yesterday.
You know, we saw our colleague Philip Nilate in our shots a few minutes ago. Let's go back to Philip and give us what today's, activities look like in that same spot. Philip, good morning. Hello, Philip.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. What can you report for us this morning, and where are you exactly?
Okay, so currently I'm at Ablekuma Curve, the exact place where the chaotic scene was witnessed yesterday when the drivers in this particular area and a nationwide strike that they embarked on brought heavy traffic here. Today, as you can see, the vehicles are flowing. Free flow of traffic in this particular enclave. The drivers have resumed work. They are working. You wouldn't find the numerous passengers or commuters that massed up here yesterday. They are no more here. So they are adhering to the directive from their leadership that they are supposed to bounce back to work. And that is what is happening here today. Just if you can see in your shot, you can see that a number of public transport vehicles are moving. Some are stuck in the traffic. This is because of the traffic light is giving some signal, so they are in for a while. But as I can say, and as you can see in your shot here, free flow of traffic, transport is moving. And also the situation that I witnessed yesterday was, as of 12, when the leadership called off the strike, some of the drivers were charging exorbitant prices, such as if you are moving from Accra, from Ablekuma here to Accra, as 4 cedi 20 pesos. But as of yesterday, they were taking 5 Ghana cedis. Some of the bookmen are here, the individuals that control the situation here and ensure that the drivers charge the right amount. I would speak to him and find out from him if the drivers are not taking the exorbitant prices, but they are following the right process to charge the right amount. Hello, sir. You're welcome to the City Breakfast Show.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So this is City Breakfast Daily Show, and I want to find out from you. First of all, what is your name?
Eugene Newton.
Eugene Newton. As of yesterday, around 12 thereabout, when I came here, some of the drivers were charging exorbitant prices from here to Accra as 4 cedi 20 pesos, but they were charging 5 Ghana cedis. Is that a situation now?
No, that's not the situation. You know, GPRTU is a disciplined organization, and we don't just increase our fares. It is being done at the headquarters. So yesterday, after the demonstration, I was here till 5 o'clock. Yeah, but then I did not see any driver overcharging. Yeah.
So you manage affairs here as the station manager or the station officer. When you came here this morning, did you see a number of vehicles here, commercial vehicles here, who are taking passengers or commuters to their various destinations?
No. To my knowledge, I've not seen any driver.
So no vehicle came around here
to take overcharge.
No, not to take overcharge. To, like yesterday, there was a strike. We didn't have a number of vehicles coming around. No car came around. But today, did you have your members coming here in their numbers to pick passengers or commuters to their various destinations?
Yes. Because we were told by our superiors yesterday that the demonstration should be over for a while. They are consulting. They are all there. So we are looking up to them. The drivers are in, and then they are taking the passengers to their destinations.
But from your interaction with the drivers, are they satisfied with the directive?
Though they are not satisfied, but then we will wait for the superiors to, they are our leaders, and we elected them. So whatever they say, we need to conform with it.
Why are you saying that you are not satisfied? Because this morning I woke up and I saw 15 pesos deduction or reduction in fuel price when you go to the Gulf fuel stations. And you say you're not satisfied. Why are you not satisfied?
15 pesos is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Though I'm not a good mathematician or a statistician, but then 15 pesos is a tip of an iceberg. But then we will manage it. We will manage, yes.
So in the interim, what will you still call on your leadership to do? And what will you call on government to do so that we don't see the situation that happened yesterday happen again?
I would not like to talk much of this, but then we will still be pleading to the government that they should do a little bit of the reduction. He should reduce the fuel. The fuel is still costly. He should reduce it.
So you heard there, he has said that the situation that was witnessed here yesterday, the exorbitant prices that was charged by some of the drivers, is not there anymore because of the directive they had from the leadership of their various driver unions. I'll still move into the some of the passengers, speak to them, find out from them how excited they are about the fact that the strike has been called off and they are supposed to, or they get vehicles to their various places. I'll speak to some of the passengers and find out from them what they make of this particular directive, asking whether they are excited about the directive from the leadership that they are supposed to call off the strike. Let me speak to this Amelia and find out from her what she makes of it. Hello, mommy. Good morning.
Good morning.
That's saying. Na Andra no dru ha no minim say na wo kokrum Andra dru na ka wa ha.
Enya easy. Ya se ka dru ha na ya se amanfo. Na ka na park anya agro ya gina more than 2 hours kra ya anya ka nko.
Etu an ko ejuma.
Man ko mi se mechi kofi.
Na o ye ejuma we.
Mi ye ejuma wa kra.
Okay. Nti Andra wan ko ejuma no e affect wo sen.
Pa bebre aha mi. Say nkwada be ko school say okope sika wa kitani wa yisu Saturday wa yisu Sunday say Monday no wa kope aba na o ma akọ nso ama ahu kira ba nura pa anya agoro nso nyi na che bom pa se nya me ma bibia anya fine ma ye
na ende wedru ha me sure say obenya car sesi ade akọ Accra na wo kọ no
obegina ache kakra
obegina ache na still nya car aden
nya kraka menim
as almost say on my call off strike no
one ebre wo mu ama ye fight dodo nya pa ye fight pa nti omo hwe ma ye
na so obeye hu bia akọ ejuma ende me
ene me kwa bebi nti me hwe say bia menya ka akọ magina sa bre ma bre pa nti mo hwe na mo ye bibi ma ye
odidi say
me didi fati
den
fati audu yelbi.
So you heard that from Fatih, who is, well, not so excited about this. So, gentlemen, if I can speak briefly, yesterday, I'm sure that you leave on English. Again?
Don't speak English.
Okay, don't worry. So, and Oti inside hobby be one.
Yeah.
Oti infa.
Pacho meti boko down.
Oh, boko.
Yeah.
Na ndra drew hano onya car ko krum de.
Ndra me drew hano me break akra but em say me na be lokita private car man dem me koy. Nti enra de na ano de nti aban na hwe na hwe ne adawa fo na ka na omo hwe na omo wa omna enyina
e bra no na wo ko he
enra me pa cho na me ko adwuma wa boso kan
yeah na later in the day they nti say omo call off strike no o te we ni je de
yeah me okay manage pa
na o ye sure say ndo benya card akoko
and me hwe senese no a metimanya bi go me ba ma hunu se adawa fo no atie o me se ne mpanifo no mo kasa ndi me hunu se o matie o mpani asam na o ne o kasa ndi o matie ndi musica na makoma ye adwuma
na de esi endra no o na ye nipa de bia ofro ka kokrom o be pese ebesi biom ana o mpese ebesi
me mpese ebesi biom
aden
ano oden em se ubo ho an kokrom a ya na didi kra e den ti gese o kokrom ansa na wanya bia man kwala na ko school ama ono so aye okay ti say ebisa sibie mu a menyi ni say ebebo ayen aye foka kokuru mu.
So you still had there from some of the commuters trying to speak to us and trying to let us know that the situation was very serious yesterday. Hello mommy, good morning rather, and you welcome to the City Breakfast Daily Show. What is your name?
My
My name is Constance Chan.
Come again.
Constance Chan.
Okay, I've noticed you are going to town today. Yesterday, when you came here, what was the situation like?
Oh, I didn't come out. That time I was asleep. So I don't know what is going on here.
Oh, you chose to sleep?
Yeah.
Not to go to work?
My head is paining me. That's why I didn't come out.
But I'm sure you heard of the issue that there weren't enough vehicles.
They says there is no car. That's why I didn't come out.
But today, when you came to Ablekuma Curve, how is the situation like? Are you hoping to get a vehicle anytime soon?
More car is working. There is nothing here.
So, Kweku and Kokwi in the studio, you can hear from most of the commuters excited about the situation. They are happy, but they are still calling on the authority to ensure that the issue is addressed amicably. I spoke to the station manager of this particular area who indicated that though they are excited about the 15 pesos reduction, it is insignificant and that the leadership should reduce it further so the action that happened yesterday wouldn't happen anymore. So the vehicles are flowing, enough vehicles here at Ablekuma Curve. The chaotic scene that was witnessed yesterday is no more. But we are hoping that going forward, such an incident wouldn't occur again.
All right, Philip, thank you so much. We really appreciate your updates, and we'll speak with you later on. All right, so Duke, as you can see, I mean, things that look like they've returned pretty much to normal.
Yes.
You know, the anxiety that was created yesterday was just unbearable. I mean, right, even here in the studio, it was you could feel it.
Because if you think about your colleagues who would join you as a team to make things tick, and at a point in time you don't really know whether they are going to show up or not, or how bad the situation is in there. And then the online drivers are also cashing in on that, and even I mean, what do you call it? Motorcycle riders are also, with all of its safety implications and the rest. So I mean, I just hope that once we've had, I'll call it a temporary stopgap solution to this, as it is usually the case, the stakeholders do not go back to sleep. But the GRTCC would continue to a point where they can find an amicable solution so that it finds space in the next major government financial statement, which is the mid-year review budget for 2022. So that by that time, once you've all agreed on this as what you want to do, you can start taking the baby steps towards getting that reached at that point in time. Until otherwise, we'll get to another situation where this would happen all over again. A surprise will be sprung on all of us, and we'll go back to the situation which we were in before.
Yeah. You know, the gentleman that Philip spoke to was talking about the fact that they think the reduction is too small. And from what we're being told, it's just one OMC, which is the government one, GOIL, that has been asked to reduce a bit. But when we look at the components that go into pricing our petroleum, so you've got taxes and levies like the PSRL, the Price Stabilization Recovery Levy, you've got the Special Petroleum Tax, Primary Distribution Margin, Energy Debt Recovery Levy, BOST Margin, all of these taxes and levies, right? The OMCs will tell you they can't do much about their pricing because they're barely making, you know, they always say they're barely making ends meet as it is, so they don't want to reduce. So they then point the finger at government saying, well, government has to look at all of their taxes and do something about that in order for the price to come down. So realistically, if they're saying reduce it more than this 15 pesos, this is nothing. Realistically, Duke, what can we hope for?
Can't touch the price stabilization levy is what, I mean, that's what easily comes to mind as the cost component that can be taken, because it's been instituted as some sort of a fallback mechanism.
So that the price stable.
To keep the price. We know of the situation globally.
Yes.
But in good times, when there is windfall, you save up that money.
Exactly.
So that when these things happen, you can fall back on it.
Yeah.
I know that just about a month or two ago, the NPA triggered that reduced it by a certain margin. But in such a situation, for me, there's no justification whatsoever, except that it will affect other projections. Which would be the reason why, because over the years, because of the difficulty of government in being able to take revenue and collect taxes.
Yes.
The easiest, the lowest hanging fruit is petroleum.
Yeah.
The lowest hanging fruit is petroleum.
So they're not going to want to let go of that.
They may not want to tinker with it, and that is what that is what would get us into such a situation. Because if it is, at least if the price stabilization levy is taking off, or even reduced,
it's funny,
or is tinkered with, maybe the price can come down a little better. And this time around, that will not affect only Goel, but it will have a knock-on effect on all the OMCs.
Yeah. But why are we always just looking for the lowest hanging fruits?
Because we failed to get the basic questions right. We are here just two weeks or so ago. Well, look at we were discussing the chaos surrounding the basic issue of identity for Ghanaians.
Yes.
So if you don't get that right, how are you going to tax? Are you going to tax people? Are you going to bring it up? And right now we're talking about, it's not one of the issues we are discussing, but e-levy. Government has had to tax that because it's also a way of, it's one easy tax handle of getting people to pay that. Until we answer the difficult basic questions, these issues will always come up.
Anyway, so the GPRTU strike, Godfred Abobiri, the General Secretary, signed a release. And this is what they said in the release for the suspension of the strike. The intended strike action, which was scheduled to take effect Monday, 6th of December 2021, has been suspended. Now, the leadership of the union has been invited to the presidency during the course of the day. Development will be communicated to members. We therefore entreat our cherished members to go back to their normal duties. Now, this is interesting because it was released yesterday, right? Signed yesterday and released yesterday. You know, so I think the people who went on the strike didn't get that memo then.
Yes,
that appears that way.
A lot. That's so I was talking about mixed messages early on, and this was even before they went into the meeting. Which is to say that for the GPRTU, even before they went into the meeting. Okay.
Right. Let's talk to the PRO of the GPRTU, Alhaji Abbas Imoro Abbas. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Breakfast Daily.
How are you doing this morning,
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Thank you for joining us on Breakfast Daily.
Okay.
All right. So we just wanted more updates from you. We understand that the strike is currently suspended, pending, I suppose, the outcome of negotiations between your outfit and the government. So can you just clarify for us what the current agreement is that made you and your colleagues in the GPRTU decide to go back to work and continue to transport passengers?
Thank you very much, and good morning to viewers or listeners. The whole issue is about our request for scrapping out of some of the taxes and levies. And what happened was attention was not given to us, so we finally embarked on the sit-down strike yesterday. When the strike took effect, then the pressure started coming. We had a call from Chief of Staff that the President has intervened, pleading that we should suspend the strike and come for a roundtable discussion, of which we obliged, because ever since we started, just to say the President has never spoken. So we accepted it and asked our people to suspend the strike. Yes, some of them decide to take the whole day off with the explanation that the vehicle belongs to some people, and if they pick the vehicle, they have to render the whole day. And since the day is almost over, they will rest and start from today, which was well understood. So yesterday too, we went to the presidency, asked, invited, and we started the negotiations, which took us some time. Finally, we came to a very good conclusion. We are aware, and we were told again, that the taxes, if they have to reduce or scrap out some of the taxes, they should go through Parliament for approval. Yes, this is something that we are aware of. And so they have also thought of immediate remedy to the issue, of which the Self Oil is a public company. They will talk to Goel and therefore Goel reduce its products for us to force other oil marketing companies also not to increase but to decrease the products they have. And we asked how are they going to do that, and they said, yeah, they'll do that in a gradual process, starting from today. We asked, yes, all the taxes and levies we are asking for is around 150%. He said they've seen that they can't give us that as a goal, and they will start what they can do for us in the gradual process, starting from today. And whilst we are discussing these issues, Madam Freeman, the Chief of Staff, occasionally, engaging some people with their Goel officials. So finally, our mother was able to tell us that yes, we should have faith in what they are discussing, that it has shown us, effective from today, why we spend by reducing to not less, at least about 6.300. So finally, we agree that yes, we are looking for reduction of the petroleum products. The way it is rising, it is something very, very worrying. So if this is the way it is going to be reduced for us, why not?
Okay, Abbas, sorry, very quickly. All right, so I suppose at least for now, you've got a temporary victory. You got the attention of the president, at least, and you got to sit down to kind of get things sorted out so you could go back to work. But there were some unfortunate incidents that happened yesterday as well. Some of your members were alleged to have caused a lot of damage and destruction to some people's property, obstructing roads, etc. We do know that some drivers who engaged in that behavior have been arrested. What is your comment on that for the members of GPRTU who decided to go against the law and to cause a lot of disorder that was unnecessary for a sit-down strike?
Yes. We were told yesterday, in the night, and this morning I'm not driving to office. So when I get to the office, we'll discuss it and see how best we can salvage that issue. But in any case, I wish you are by me. I would have sent you a communique, which we sent before the sit-down strike. I wouldn't want to say those people are not drivers. It would be wrong for me to say so, because we ask all our drivers that yes, we are not working. Every driver should stay home. We are not working. This is a sit-down strike. People, they should stay home. So we are surprised to hear at some places certain things went wrong. I wouldn't want to say they are not drivers on this media. But we will research and find out. I'm driving to the office. When I get to the office, our senior men are also there. What the office is and solve that problem.
Okay,
fair enough. So just confirm for us again, you said the price for fuel now, you're expecting it to be what, 6.600? Is that correct?
6.7700, I said.
6.77.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0.700.
Okay, 6.700. All right. Okay. And are you happy with that?
Well, if she told us that, and effective from today, we have seen that, meaning the subsequent ones will follow. So let's wait. After all, we are not fighting for only commercial drivers. We are fighting for anyone in the country who buys fuel.
All right.
Abbas,
thank you very much, Mr. Abbas Imoro. We'll be speaking with the PRO of the GPRTU. Yeah, so interesting, turn of events, and it looks hopeful. It looks hopeful. 6.70. I think it's not a bad deal. To begin with,
it could be reduced.
Yeah, I believe so. All right, so we'll take a short break. Breakfast Daily will continue. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily, and the show is interactive. We want to hear from you. WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. If you happen to be on social media, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily. So we want to talk about some perennial water crisis in some parts of the country. Wherever it is you find yourself, if you have water challenges, do let us know what is the situation in your area, even as you take a look at this report by our Savannah regional correspondent, Richard Fogo. Let's take a look.
Potable water is a rare commodity in most of the Savannah region. The situation gets worse in the dry Harmattan season, right into the warm season and into the early months of the rainy season. The Savannah regional capital, Damango, is usually one of those hardest hit. As the dry season begins, many women and children and men alike will walk or ride kilometers before they get potable water for the use of their households. To mitigate the crisis in the area, the Gonjaland Youth Association has provided 4 mechanized and 1 hand pump water facilities to 5 communities. The water systems were provided with funding from the Caravan of Mercy. Speaking at a ceremony to hand over the water systems to the communities, the president of the Gonjaland Youth Association, Mohammed Amin Osman, called on the government to expedite action on the Damango and Salaga water projects, which are expected to serve a lot of communities in the region.
Appreciate all the efforts, but we think that we should do more to be able to speed up, because we are entering into the dry season. Our women are going to continue to travel kilometers upon kilometers in search of water. Children will have to leave schools to go and look for water. Even our farmers would have to go and look for water. And this is an issue and a problem that will draw us back. And we will suffer this, and we pray that this whole problem should not come if the needed attention is given from all other organizations, individuals. This is an organization we've requested for assistance from, and we've gotten something to give to the people. So we thank the government for the effort, but we think that the government should try as much as possible to complete the ongoing ones, particularly Damango. We know of Salaga that is also ongoing, and then other areas. Let's take advantage of the river bodies we have. The black water is there, the white water is also there. If we are committed at getting water for our people, I believe that we should be able to use these water bodies and then generate water for the people.
Mr. Amin Osman, whilst urging the communities to sustain the water systems, said the association will continue to explore opportunities to assist communities in Gonjaland.
We are not able to access it. We want the people to benefit from it. So the committee will manage the water, and we have also our technical men who will be standing at any point in time to come in to support the people when there are technical issues with them. And so we will not leave the water to just stand here and become a white elephant. The people must benefit from it, and we'll try as much as possible to sustain what we have here, and also wish that other people will come on board to support Gonjaland Youth Association to get water for our people.
Duke, I remember in the primary JHS, we used to learn about potable water and people having access to water. And this was how many years ago? Today, 7 December 2021, we're still talking about people having access to potable water. Just something as basic and essential to life as clean water that people can use on a daily basis. Anyway,
you have to take the benevolence of a group of people to get that done. Well, it's not the best. It just shows how it's basic problems. Basic problems.
Which is why we can't focus on
the high
more
issues.
advanced things.
This is somebody's reality.
Yes.
Just wake up in the morning every day, and get to fetch water by the stream and doesn't have potable water. And yet these people have representation.
Yes, they do. A lot of representation.
Have representation. It's interesting how today is exactly a year Ghanaians queued to vote.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, and it's not as if these problems surfaced overnight, but it's just to highlight the situation that if we are a society in which people, those who represent, the representatives represent the represented, then they have to also have some of these basic problems. Because the reason why we give off some of our power to people to represent us and run the society is for them to solve some of these basic problems. Water. At this point in time, in 2021.
Yes.
It's unacceptable.
Unacceptable. You know, it's befuddling. I mean, you just think about the fact that we went to space in the 60s.
Yeah.
We still can't fix water in 2021.
No, see, we didn't go. The Russians and the Americans went. The Russians and the Americans went. We watched it.
I mean, you think about it, it's like, wow, what is it going to take? What's it going to take? A
lot more prioritized, because I think for something as basic as water. Something as basic as water. I mean, if the district assembly is working very well, it shouldn't take philanthropic bodies to
provide tanks.
At all.
Water tanks.
What are they doing? They would intend blame the central government and say this assembly common fund has not released, blah blah blah. But they take market tolls. They take money from people who that can be directly used to solve some of these problems. This is not construction of road that you say 1 kilometer of road costs millions of things. This is water.
It's a water tank.
This is water tank.
It's not even like a system. No, it's like you've gone to Polytank or Sinot. You've gone to buy tank and put it there.
Yet every market day, I'm sure there are people who are taking tolls.
Let's look at
regional capital.
So let's look at what the real problem is. It's not that there's no water in Savannah region. That's not the issue here. The issue is making it drinkable and making it available in a drinkable form. This is what we're talking about. So, wow. That's
what I'm saying. Let's look at the most basic of solutions. Even if you look at it from the greater perspective, that would be setting up a treatment plant, Ghana Water Company Limited. I'm sure there are areas in that, I mean, maybe mainline or downtown Damango, they may have potable water. But even even in Accra, when people want to solve their own problems at home because of issues of shortage of water, what do? They get the polytanks. But I'm saying that if the people who run the space, the district assemblies, the managers of the space at the local level, if they are taking tolls, if they are taking market tolls and the rest, can they put together a treatment plant for it to take a benevolent organization or a youth group to come together to do that? It's good and great for such organizations to do these things. But at the end of the day, if you are taking money from people, if you are responsible, what service are you delivering? It's unacceptable.
Okay, you're in Parliament all the time. Who's the MP for Damongo area?
The MP for Damongo is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
Oh, okay.
I think we should just end the conversation now, because lands and natural resources, like as in water is a natural resource, as in Abujinapo.
Yes.
As in Abujinapo, who's trying to save water bodies where Galamsey is happening. His constituency doesn't have water.
So this is the Honourable Abujinapo's constituency.
Perennial water crisis.
Good morning, Honourable Abujinapo.
Yeah, we agree to.
Look, I think he's a nice guy. I think he works hard. I think he's a very smart man as well. Perhaps there are challenges of which we know not. But I just find it interesting that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources runs a constituency that doesn't have a perennial water problem.
This will bring this to his attention, and it requires urgent fixing.
But you see, again, sometimes you see, so he's a minister and he's an MP. How much can one realistically actually do? You see, and this is part of the problem for me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, Minister of lands and natural resources, the entire country is under his purview. So he's not only looking at his locality where he's representing the people, but the entire country.
Okay, but the other side of the argument is that we know people who did not retain their ministerial positions because they lost their seats.
Yes.
So if you look at it from that angle, he is a minister.
Yes.
He's an MP first.
It's an MP first before a minister.
I'm actually questioning the wisdom of having ministers who are MPs.
Your constitution says that's what you have to do.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's
the
not.
hybrid system.
There's no
has
illegality involved here. I'm just saying that I'm questioning the wisdom of it and of us continuing down this path.
No, it's a constitutional question that needs to be answered. Anyway. Otherwise,
Hey Duke, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Yes,
well,
indeed.
Breakfast Daily, we have more that's coming up. Interesting conversations. Health segment is next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.